The YIELDMAX Coin Option Income Strategy ETF, known as CONY, is offering a 75.31% distribution rate or dividend yield. Now, this has obviously got to more dividend income-focused investors' attention, including myself. In this video, we are going to break down exactly how the YIELDMAX Coin Option Income Strategy ETF works and what it has to offer, and if or if not, I am currently going to be adding some CONY to my portfolio moving forward. Now stick around, drop a like down below, and subscribe for more future content like this. So first off, right here on the YIELDMAX ETF's website, on the home page it says CONY, YIELDMAX Coin Option Income Strategy ETF, and it then says this fund does not invest directly into coin, which of course, for those that might not know, is Coinbase Global, or the crypto platform that's currently trading at around $78 per share or so. Now, coin is obviously the underlying security that CONY tracks, even though it doesn't invest in it directly. But coin has been a pretty volatile stock over the last few years, down around 73% on the max time frame. But heading back to YIELDMAX, it says once again it does not directly invest in coin, which is important. Investing in the fund involves a high degree of risk, which is sort of to be expected when anything is offering a 75.31% distribution rate. Keep in mind, if a stock or an ETF is offering anywhere above 50 to 100% distribution rate in theory, that means that within 1 year, you are going to be basically distributed all of your initial investment back, which means that in theory, by year number 2 or 3, your entire investment would then be sort of playing on the house's money. It then says issuer specific attributes may cause an investment in the fund to be more volatile than a traditional pooled investment, which diversifies risk or the market generally. The value of the fund, which focuses on an individual security, coin, in this case Coinbase, because keep in mind YIELDMAX does have other option ETFs, of course, that track different securities, may be more volatile than a traditional pooled investment or the market as a whole, and may perform differently from the value of a traditional pooled investment or the market as a whole. If coin shares increase in value, the fund strategy is subject to all potential losses if coin shares decrease in value, which may not be offset by income received by the fund. The fund may not be suitable for all investors. So that's a fair summary when it comes to pretty much any one of the YIELDMAX ETFs, honestly. This is definitely not necessarily an investment for the faint of heart. This investment can be pretty volatile and can offer some massive upside, which we've seen in the past, but this strategy also, of course, can have some future downsides, potentially. Now then, very important on the YIELDMAX website, it then says distribution details for CONY, and this of course is the very first dividend that CONY has ever paid since the fund's inception, and this is of course also what's really gotten my attention as well as other more dividend income focused investors' attention. The fact that CONY's first distribution was so massive, of over $1.20, and that's a monthly distribution, because keep in mind CONY is an ETF that's under $20 per share. So an over $1.20 monthly frequency distribution is absolutely insane, which of course gives CONY that 75.31% distribution rate. And keep in mind, it's also important to note that this distribution rate could of course go down in the future, because of course the distribution is going to be based upon how the options perform and how Coinbase, the underlying security, performs within the given time frame, but this distribution rate is honestly pretty shocking. Some also very important facts when it comes to CONY that I want everyone to be aware of are things like the net assets. 45.75 million in total net assets, which makes the fund relatively small compared to other funds out there, even compared to something like TSLY. Also very important, the gross expense ratio is just under 1%, which I think some of us are honestly starting to get more and more used to this massive expense ratio for some of these different funds that are built like the YIELDMAX ETFs. The 1% expense ratio for investors that are used to investing into low-cost index funds is going to be shocking, but for an ETF or a fund that's way more actively managed like CONY or like all the other YIELDMAX ETFs, it's sort of to be expected at this point. Now next, also important, these are the top 10 holdings for CONY as of right now. So as of right now, so there's some underlying options of Coinbase, some puts, as well as some call options, and with all the extra cash, it looks like there's a lot of US Treasuries, which of course, as of right now, are earning a lot of interest on an ongoing basis. Now, what's also important to note when it comes to these YIELDMAX ETFs is that the holdings are going to change quite a bit because these are actively managed funds and they are going to be getting in and out of positions throughout the month, which is also sort of a lot to keep up with. But that's where we as investors of any of the YIELDMAX ETFs have to just have hope in the management and hope that they make the best decisions. Next, to get a little bit more information on CONY, the actual prospectus, to see how this investment actually works. And I think this is important and fair for everyone to know if you are going to invest into something like this. So some important takeaways that I found is that an investment in the fund is not an investment in coin. So remember, when you invest in CONY, you are not directly investing into Coinbase. The fund strategy will cap the potential gains if CONY shares increase in value, and that's because this fund uses a cover call strategy, which means the upside potential is going to be limited and capped. The fund strategy is subject to all potential losses if shares of CONY decrease in value, which may not be offset by the income received by the fund. So this fund is going to be receiving a lot of income in the form of premiums from options as well as interest from US Treasuries, etc. But the potential losses could still outweigh the gains. Now, also very important when it comes to the YIELDMAX ETFs, especially this one right here, it says synthetic cover call strategy. So you or I most likely have either came across a cover call strategy or even implemented one ourselves. I definitely sell cover calls across my portfolio as of right now, and I use cover calls to generate more income and help with some downside protection. But in the case of YIELDMAX, they are utilizing a synthetic cover call strategy. It says in seeking to achieve its investment objective, the fund will implement a synthetic cover call strategy using the standardized exchange traded and flex options described above. A traditional cover call strategy is an investment strategy where the investor of the fund sells a call option on the underlying security that it owns. A synthetic cover call strategy is similar to traditional cover call strategies in that the investor sells a call option that is based on the value of the underlying security. However, in the synthetic cover call strategy, the investor of the fund does not own the underlying security. So that's where things definitely differ. Right now in my portfolios, I have cover call set up, but I own the underlying security. If I want to sell a cover call on Apple stock, I own shares of Apple, where this is not the case when it comes to CONY or a lot of the YIELDMAX ETFs, but rather to seek to synthetically replicate 100% of the price movements of the underlying security through the use of various investment instruments, like options. Now lastly, I think it's important to look through the actual price performance of CONY as of right now. So in the max time frame as of filming this video, CONY's up around 3% or so, which is pretty impressive, especially because of the massive dividend they just announced. Now keep in mind, CONY has only been trading for a month or two, so it's going to take some time to actually see how this ETF performs as far as ETF price, because I wouldn't be surprised if this ETF loses some value and decays like many other similar cover call ETFs. Now last but not least, I wanted to go over if or if not I'm planning on buying any CONY, the YIELDMAX Coin Option Income Strategy ETF for my personal portfolio. So for my overall portfolio and my risk tolerance, I normally most likely would not invest largely into something like this just because of the risk that it carries and because of the volatility that it's going to offer. But with that being said, with some side money in my portfolio, or what I would like to call either like scratch off money or gamble money, I will definitely be buying some shares of CONY just on the side, just to sort of be a part of it, watch how it trades, and of course, hopefully to earn some of the massive future potential distributions that CONY might offer. But when it comes to the YIELDMAX ETFs, or of course CONY in specific, is this going to be an ETF that we are going to find in your portfolio? Comment down below, yes or no, and let us know why. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to please drop a like on it and subscribe for more future content like this. Thanks as always for stopping by, and if you are interested in investing, make sure to check out these recent videos I posted right here.